Mm, just tools. These
Yeah.
everything is just a tool. So make sure you use it in the correct way or understand how it is being used. All technology at the beginning, in terms of children's relationships with technology, all technology at the beginning is foreign and alien and confusing and
Mm.
could be used in a bad way. A gun could be used in a bad way. A car could be used in a bad way, right? Um, so it's not what it is. It's how you think about it and how you use it. And my my daughter, who's 9, likes to play Minecraft on her phone,
Mm.
and she gets a lot of criticism from people for doing that. Now, I understand that, and my personal perspective is first you go outside and you do something in the real world. You contribute
Mm.
to your physical environment. And then if you want to do something with your phone, I'm fine as long as it's constructive.
Mm.
Um, everything there's two different sides to the technology. There's creativity and consumption, right? You can use your phone to watch a video on YouTube, that is consumption. Or you can use your phone to, as I do, edit videos and edit pictures and do research for data.
Mm.
And those are creative aspects of it. So it's not what it is, it's how you use it. So anybody who criticizes you for what something is hasn't taken the time to look at the the details of the situation. And that there's a lot of ignorance in society. If you say to people, is using a phone for 2 hours bad? They will probably say yes, but what if you're using a phone for creativity? What about a computer? Is using a computer for 2 hours bad? Well, I have to use a computer for my work. Well, you only ever have to do what it is that you choose to do. I mean, it's a difficult point, but you can use everything in sort of any way that you want. Anyway, the point about Minecraft is that Minecraft is a purely creative experience.
Mm.
It's a purely building and cultivating with what you build so that you have something. It's there's no difference, but there's no real difference between Minecraft and Lego, to be honest.
Mm.
Minecraft is just like a modern version of Lego. And it's hard for people to get their head around it, but really it is. It's blocks that you use to create things, and once you get deeper into it, it gets even more complex. And adults can never criticize children for things that the adults can't do. So if my daughter is building something in Minecraft and somebody criticizes her for using her phone, my response to that is, what are they doing? Well, they're building something in Minecraft. Could you do that?
Mm.
Because if you can't do it, shut up, right? If you can't do it, right? If someone's driving a racing car really fast, you
Mm.
can't drive a racing car really fast. Don't, observe. If they want feedback, they'll ask for it, right? Observe and respect what other people are doing if they're doing something that you can't do. If your kids are climbing a tree, don't criticize them for it because you can't climb a tree. Don't criticize them for it. You can't do it, right? You know, you've got to give people the space and the understanding to, and the respect that they need for doing something that other people can't do. The adults too often criticize children for the things that the adults couldn't do. You know, here's a classic example that I've seen 1,000 times. It's the fat, overweight parent telling the child not to climb the tree. It's like, why should the child listen to you? Why should the child listen to you at all? Maybe you're right, it's dangerous, but they're never going to listen to you because you've put yourself in a place in life where you can't at all compete with the child in doing that activity. I took my children to visit an old castle yesterday, and they climbed the walls of the castle, and there was a fat woman standing at the bottom of the wall saying, "Oh, it's dangerous, your children shouldn't be up there." And inside my mind was just fuck off, right? But I didn't say that. Yeah. I said, thank you very much for your opinion. I trust my children to make the right decisions for themselves, and I'm here if they need me. Yeah. So thank you. You know, I appreciate the fact that you care. I appreciate the fact that you're observant and you see children climbing and you realize it could be a danger. You know, I respect that. I respect that. And thank you. But I don't, right now, I don't need you. Right? So get out of my life, right? Get out, just get out. I don't need you right now. I appreciate that. And children are, we underestimate children's abilities. We still need to observe the environment and take care. And to be honest, the wall was really, 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 really high. Yeah. And my youngest daughter climbed it as well, and she's 6. And we're talking like, I don't know, 10, 15 meters high. And my youngest daughter, who's 6, climbed it. And I had a little bit of a heart attack, but I was like, trust. I was like, you know, I'm here. Make sure this place is as safe as it can be, and trust. Because there's going to be, and this is why, there's going to be times when you're not there. And your child has to make a decision by themselves. You want you want them to have the self-awareness to make the best decision for themselves when you're not there. And to do that, you have to always, inverted commas, always not be there. You have to always not be there. Even when you're there, you have to not be there. And that means when you're there, you don't say anything, right? When you're there, you observe and you watch, and you let your heart go, and you make sure everything's safe. And you maybe have a couple of polite words with your kids. You maybe give them, rather than criticize them, rather than saying, don't climb the wall, give them the skills and the strategies to climb the wall safely. You know, it did look for a strong foothold. Use your hands and your arms. Always have one strong grip. Keep your body close to the wall. Keep your center of gravity close to the wall, and it'll be easier for you. Yeah. Plan your route, strategize, look at where you can go, and know where your limit is. Realize when you can't go up and then you have to come back down, and remember that coming down is going to be harder than going up.
Mm.
Yeah. And think about that. And these are the strategies. Give your children the strategies. Don't tell them, don't say no, don't tell them not to do it, but give them the strategies to make the decisions for themselves. Because you know when the children fall and hurt themselves? The children fall and hurt themselves when suddenly the parents open the door and they run out and they have no self-control
Mm.
because the parents have always controlled everything. And that's when the children hurt themselves. That's when they fall out of trees and they climb the wrong wall and fall down because they don't have the practice and the experience of it.
Mm.
And that's why my kids climbed higher up the wall than all the other children
others.
than all the other children who were there. Now, I'm not saying that's a good thing. And I'm not criticizing the other children, other parents. I'm just saying that was the fact of what happened, right? And I think that the reason why that happened is because the other parents all they were saying to their children was, no, don't do that. Don't climb there. Don't go there. That's dangerous. That's bad. They were just giving them all of this negativity. And all that will happen is that when you're not looking, they'll do it anyway. Right? They'll do it anyway. And I learned this years ago, that if they don't have your permission to do it, they'll do it without your permission.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better that they have your permission, even if you don't agree. Right? And you can tell them you don't agree. It's fine. It's really fine to say to children, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think you should do it. But if you choose to do it, I will support you. That's fine. That's much, much, much better than I don't agree, don't do it. Because you have to support your children, whatever they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to support them, even if they go against what you say. You have to support them. You have to say, I don't agree with it. I don't think it's a good idea, but I will support you anyway because what I don't know everything. What if I'm wrong? Like, you might be wrong. I might be wrong. I don't know, right? I'm older. I've got more experience. You should trust me. But I'm also not all-seeing and all-knowing and omniscient and omnipotent, and I don't know everything that's going to happen. I just don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows everything that's going to happen. So we have to take on those responsibilities. And there's 100,000 examples of people trying to be safe and then being too safe and then having problems. There's no future if you worry about the problem too much. You have to give children the skills to navigate through the problem themselves, really. And yeah, it's like telling teenagers not to drink alcohol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't drink alcohol, it's bad. Well, that's a terrible strategy. It might be true that they shouldn't drink alcohol. It might be true that it's bad, but life is such that they're going to do it anyway. Yeah. And even if you tell, there's going to be times when you tell your daughter no, and she will do the opposite. And you know what? It's okay. Right? It's perfectly okay. Because kids have got to make those mistakes for themselves. Adults have to be there, and I always say check the environment. Check the environment is safe, and that's the adult's job. The adult's job is to provide a place, space, and to check that environment. And the adults build the city walls, and the kids play within the city. That's kind of how it was historically, and they were always sort of safe within that city. But you got to give them the skills to function both within the city and outside of the city. as well. I have people will call me a bad parent for this, but I don't care because I know what I'm doing, and I've got an argument for it, and it's not the only way, but I think that there's more than one way to do everything. I will very, very happily say to my children, it's time for food. It's time for a meal. Go cook yourself something.
Mm.
I'll very happily say that to my kids. Go cook yourself something. And other parents would go, oh, you have to cook for your kids. Yeah, I know I have to cook for my kids. I cook for my kids a million times, right? But one day they'll have to cook for themselves. Learn now. One less, if you learn today, you don't have to learn tomorrow. So you don't have to learn the same lesson tomorrow, right? You can move on to something else. Yeah. So you know where the pasta is in the cupboard, you know where the rice is, you know where the vegetables are in the fridge. That's controlling the environment. You know where the plates are, you know where the knives are. You know where everything is. You know that knives are sharp, right? Oh, don't let the kids play with the sharp knives. No, let the kids play with the sharp knives. Let the kids play with the sharp knives, and make sure that they're careful, as long as they don't throw the knives at each other. That's probably a bit much, but sharp knives cut better. That's why we have sharp knives, right? Because they cut things better and faster. It's not a bad thing. Teach them how to keep the knives sharp, right? But I have no problem saying to my son, go cook yourself something. Go cook yourself some rice, and don't forget to put salt in the water, when the rice is boiling, and add some vegetables to it. And, do you want some meat or do you not want some meat? It's just the little things. Saying to my kids, what do you want to eat tomorrow? Right, what do you want to eat tomorrow? And getting them to think future-minded about that. Okay, if you want to eat that, then what do we have to buy? And do we have to buy anything? Do we have the resources that we need, or do we need to get something? Where can we get it from? How much does it cost? So this begins a whole series of thoughts about how to prepare and organize and do things correctly. And then there's a whole community-orientated element to it. Are you doing it, are you cooking just for yourself, or are you cooking for everybody? Do you want to share? And all of those little elements matter. And with the technology, get involved with the technology. This is going to sound really, really, really weird to a lot of parents, but if your child likes playing Minecraft on their phone, then what you do is you get Minecraft and you put it on your phone. And you play Minecraft with your child. You play on your phone and they play on their phone. And if that's what you have to do to connect with your children, then do that. And go outside and do other things as well. Throw balls and kick balls and play sport and ride bikes and ski and do all the swim and do all the crazy outdoor activities as well. But that's a way to connect and to build and to understand things more. And very, very quickly, our children will teach us.
Yep.
And every parent has that. As soon as the child starts to go to nursery or kindergarten or school or whatever, the parents find that things flip sometimes, where the parents are asking the children about things and are asking the children to explain things to them, and that's a good thing, right? It's a good thing that the parents are interested, and it's a good thing that the children have to explain these elements and ideas. And I've been working with my daughter on her Minecraft projects as much as I can. And after 1 year of me trying to understand Minecraft, I have to say that I still can't get it. I still don't fully understand it. Yeah. So it's a very complex and deep topic, not only in not only just in terms of just using an application, or the depth required to actually do things well there is huge. And maybe, just maybe, children who invest time in building things through technology will be able to transfer those skills into the real world.
Mm.
Because what it is a chain or process of thoughts based on a goal. And if you can do that in the digital world, it's like, how do I solve this problem? Okay, how do I build, here's a crazy Minecraft problem. How do I keep my stuff safe? It's a Minecraft problem. Like I cultivate, and when you start, you've got a piece of land, and nothing. You got nothing. You don't have any tools. You don't have any wood. You don't have any building blocks. You don't have anything that you need to build or survive or whatever. You don't even have a place to. You've just got a character. And you start by punching a tree to get wood to make a wooden axe to use to cut the dirt to make things from the dirt. And then when you eventually get resources, how do I keep my resources safe? And that's a simple question that everybody has to solve in life. How do I keep my resources safe? And like, my daughter built a building that you can't get into because the materials that she used are the rarest kind that you can get, and you can't break them. And she made a key that only she could use to get into the building, and all her stuff was in it and protected. And I'm like, that's really smart, That's really smart to know how to do it, and to know that you need to do it, and to actually do it, and to achieve it, and to finish it. How many things do we do in life that we never finish, right? How many ideas do we have that are good ideas, but we never have the focus or the time to actually achieve them? There's a lot. There's a lot like that in life. And so I think exposure to the technology is part of what children will need in the future to survive as the world becomes more technically complex. As finances will become, if you notice how finances become more and more digital, that's a really abstract concept. Digital finance is a really abstract concept to try to understand. But something that children usually understand better than adults. And the dangers of digital finance. There are a large number of people in Canada who drive very big vehicles called trucks. They have just had all their bank accounts turned off. Right? That's an emphasis of the danger of the technology. Yeah. I wonder if they'd played Minecraft as kids, whether they would have found a more secure way of storing their resources than giving their resources to somebody else.
mm,
which is what you do when you put your money in the bank. You give your resources to another person to look after. It's not a very safe way to store your wealth, right? So yeah, I advocate and support anything that requires thought and learning. At the same time as having a conversation with my kids about how games keep people addicted and the different strategies that are there. Yeah. You know, how do you keep, like anything, how do you keep people interested? You know, what are the freebies, the extras, the little things, the little gold stars and rewards and you know, every time you log into Rec Room, which is a kids game that's available across all platforms, you get a little box to open, and there's like a free gift in it, you know, and it sparks the positive elements in the brain that make you feel happy because you got a gift, and you know you've done. Well, why do you play it? You play it because it makes you feel happy. Why does it make you feel happy? Because you get things, and so there are elements to life which are very, very similar to that as well. And smart parents are able to recognize that and discuss that with their children. And so their children see what we talk about the carrot and the stick, the two motivations. The carrot's out in front, and the stick is, what's kicking you from behind. And always be looking for the carrot and the stick. What's the carrot and what's the stick? Look at the marketing, look at the advertising. Why do you want to go into that shop? Which here we are on the high street, kids. Which shop do you want to go to? Which shop is the most interesting? Why? Why is it interesting? Why do you want to go there? What's making you go there? What's your motivation? What's the benefit? Is it short term or long term? Right? What's the thinking? What's the marketing involved? Is it a good idea? Why are you interested and somebody else is not interested? What are the differences? What are the comparisons? And with simple questions and observation, you could create the marketing genius of the future, right? Right? How do you get people's attention? Where are people looking? Where's everybody looking? Right? Everybody is looking into their phone. So you have to put something there, perhaps to get their attention. Perhaps.